Hi there, everyone. So today I will show you the process of how to create a quote in HubSpot. All right, so step number one is going here to the gear icon in HubSpot. So to the settings, scroll down to the object and find quotes. And when you're finding quotes, you have some things here that you will want to define. So the first one is set a default expiration period. You can set 90 days or you can basically set whatever expiration period you want to. This is something that can be predefined, but you can also customize that in the quote itself. Then allow payments of unassigned quotes. This means that once it's turned on, quotes that use the e-signature feature can be paid even if they are not really signed. So this is something that you can as well enable. Another thing you can do directly from here is download basically all the PDFs with all the quotes for your recording purposes and then display total contract values on quotes. So this here default quote value is something that you predefine as well. So you either choose to have as default the quote amount or the total contract value. So total contract value basically means everything, all revenue that your company will make with that specific customer. So it includes everything, fees and one-time payments and everything. While quote amount is only about that specific quote. So you can choose the default here and you can as well predefine this display the total contract value on quotes, but you can also see this in the quote itself if you want to do it for only specific quotes and you don't want to have a general setting for that. Then here you can enable as well this option of deleting quotes when you're as well deleting a contact which is associated with a quote, and you can choose to delete it or not. So the other thing here e-signature. So if you have Sales Hub Pro, you have 10 signatures for each seat. If you have Enterprise, you have 30. And here is where you see the amount of e-signature usage you have left. Now, here in the quote templates, you have these default quote templates that HubSpot provides to you. You have then customizable ones. You have the flow template, which is pretty cool. I really like this one. It's a little bit more customizable, allows you to do more things. And you have the proposal and as well the quote. So in this specific case, I already kind of pre-created one. So let's say I want to edit this one now. And I want to quickly show you what you can do here. So basically you have the banner. You can change the banner image. You can even override the default logo that you have in your HubSpot, the reference number as well. Then you have quote created text. So this is basically things that you can change the naming. Usually I only change the name of already default text if I wanted to do a translation, but you can do that as well. Um, and then here you have information about the sender company. This is about you, your company, who's writing the quote, and you have all of these tokens. So in case you want to just put the company name and the country, you can just simply delete all of the other ones, right? The same happens with the sender username, first name, last name, and sender email. Those are the ones which are already coming with the template, but you can add or subtract to your liking. And then the recipient company. So here you have the selected fields. Here it's important to make sure that you're actually having this information. So company name, for sure you have it, but sometimes not necessarily the main address or the country. So if you are selecting this, make sure that you're actually having this information in the contact or in the company record. Otherwise, it might look a little bit strange because there will be placeholders for this information. And if you don't have this information, you will just leave a blank space and it will look a little bit strange. The other thing you have here is description. So description is a rich text that you can customize to whatever you like. You can add tokens, for first name or for the company. And this is meant to give a little bit of context for the quote, and maybe say thank you or just a summary of what you will find next. And so I find this to be a way to make it more personal, especially if you're using tokens. So you can go here to personalize and use the tokens you'd like to. Then every section always has a heading, so you will always find line item header, for instance, signature header, payments as well. So there's always a header that you can as well change basically as well as a rich text here. Um, Another thing is, and it's important one, is the line items. So the line items are limited, but it's really what you need. So basically, products and services, billing frequency, quantity, unit price, and price. For each one of that, you have already an additional product property that you have to specifically identify. So we know that items and description will populate this line item, billing frequency, quantity, and so on and so forth. You can add one more. I think you can just add six exactly. So you can just add six line items. And let's say I want to add the tax. So I'm going here and then I add the specific property that will be populated through tax. So in this case would be something like tax category. You can as well choose to display the payment start date, which will go here. What else? Then subtotals, line items is really nothing you can do here because it's really mandatory to have it. So the only thing you can do is as well, in some cases, change the naming. So actually here it's not working right now. Another thing which is important is that so you can choose to hide the module if you don't want to have it or because you just don't need it. For instance, future payment summary and payment schedule. Not every time you're enabling this. So if you're not really using it, you could just go there and hide it, and then you will not show anymore, right? So in all of this, as I said, it's just a rich text that you can easily change. The other thing here is comments, terms and conditions, and signature. So let's start with the signature because signature, in terms of the template, is something that it's also easily customizable. So you can just straight up change the text, or especially for translation purposes, as I said before, or you can as well just disable it if you want to. The signature itself you cannot hide. But in the quote, while creating the quote, there's an option to say no signature, and then you won't show up. And then download, right? So terms is coming up here with a specific token, which is a quote property, and terms will be populated through a specific space that you have when you're creating the quote. Whatever you put in there will be showing up here. The one thing that you can do if you want to is delete this and just write whatever you want to. So this will be hard coded text, let's say this way. So this will be fixed text and it will be showing up regardless of where you put in the quote. So let's say that you have general terms and conditions which apply to every quote. You can make that easy and put the text, fixed text in here. You can still add tokens if you have certain deal properties that are specific to the quote. So you can also do that. But if you have like a general terms and conditions, I would recommend to just put it in here. Use tokens if you have to, but put it straight in the template. If you don't have that, it would be easier to manage through snippets in the quote itself. And that's something that I will show you in a little bit when you are creating the quote. So this is about the template. For general settings, you can go here and edit theme settings. And the edit theme settings will show you several fonts and sizes and colors that you can predefine to have a global setting that applies to the template. Of course, you can always change it here directly, but at least there you can manage how the buttons are looking like and everything, and then that makes it a lot easier. Right, so let's go now to, so let's exit here. Let's go to the quote. So your quotes you can find here, and then you go create quote. And first of all, we have to associate a deal, right? So after you associate a deal, you associate a contact and a company. Usually, for sure, a deal is associated with a company and a contact, so it kind of already has here. But you can add another contact if you want to. And then here is your information. So as I said before, right? So you have like that section where you have tokens. In this case, I have first name, last name, email address. If I wanted to display my job title, I would have to make sure that I have it in the contact record. In this case, I don't, right? So that's important to see, because then otherwise it will look a little bit unprofessional. Then here, I was already creating one, so that's why it's showing up here. So let me delete this one. This is what you will find. So you can add line items, you can select from the product library, or you can create a custom line item. Selecting from the product library will redirect you to the products that you have already previously created, right? So the products and services that you provide. So you can do that before, and then they will show up here. So let's say that I want to add consulting services. So this is what the product was created. Well, the product was created with this unit price and with all of these conditions, but I can change it here, and it won't not change the product itself. It will only change it here in this specific quote. So I can say 130, and I can add a specific discount, for instance, just for this specific situation. And then I can even add a one-time tax, and this will always be only for this specific situation here. And then here you have it. You can display the total contract value. Even though the default is annual value, you can choose to do it here. So then next, and then here you are choosing the signature option. So no signature, you will not show the signature, or you can include a space for a written signature or use a e-signature as well. Then you go next, you change the name here. So the name is the one which will be showing up here. So let's say quote or X. So that's where it goes. And then you can do the same and customize the URL slug. And then here, where you remember, we predefined the expiration date to 90 days, but you can specifically change it for this specific one if you want to. And then you can add comments if you want to have that section, if you do not want to hide it, and the purchase terms. So you remember in the purchase terms, we have two options. You can either have a fixed global terms and conditions text that you ideally would put directly into the template. That is possible as well to customize because it's a rich text, so it's possible to create tokens. Let's say that you want to specify specific quantity or specific product in the quote, in the terms, to make it a little bit more customizable and directly to this situation. You can, as long as those properties are being filled upon deal creation, you can do that, or you can even have default values for that. If not, if you have specific, and if you only want to display specific terms for the specific product that you are quoting, then I would recommend to use snippets. So snippets you can create new, you can create a piece of snippet, you can add tokens, you can do whatever you like, and then you can name the snippets, let's say consulting services terms. And then you go here and you add the specific terms for the specific product. So in case you don't have general terms that goes for everything. So this is a way to do it, and you just have for sure to kind of educate your sales rep to do that every time they are creating a quote. Then next, you have a chance to review everything, see if everything goes good. And then once you are creating, there will be a link being generated, and then they can be You can go to quotes, go to quotesy, and then you will have this link. You can write the email or you can directly copy the link and send it to the customer to get signed and approved. All right, guys, so in a nutshell, this is how you create a quote in HubSpot. If you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to comment below. And thank you so much for watching.